Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Running the Bases special edition breaking news show. I actually kind of came up with a fun little name that we could do for these shows. I always tend to tweet out "That Escalated Quickly." We can maybe name those breaking news shows "That Escalated Quickly." Welcome to another edition of "That Escalated Quickly." I'm your host, Michael Garaffa. I'm joined right now by Ryan Blank. Nick Nath will be joining us in just a moment. Yes, this is one of two shows you'll be seeing us do over the next hour and a half. We are covering Michael Brantley for right now. We will be stopping this stream and then going to another show afterwards because we want to make sure that you guys are getting the proper transition. Yes, Ryan.
Did you tweet out that we are having a breaking news show, my friend?
I did not. Would you like to do that as well? I can do it too. I will do it right now.
I don't have the YouTube link.
I will do it when you start talking about Michael Brantley. But before we get into it, Michael Brantley has signed a 2-year contract, re-signing with the Houston Astros. New thing I'm going to be doing. If I have a shirt for the team, I'm going to wear it for the breaking news show. Michael Brantley re-signed. This morning it came out that he signed with the Blue Jays, and then boom, he's back with the Astros. I mean, just a bunch of strange reporting there that was clearly not many people were really doing that deep reporting because I don't know how that mistake happened, but either way, Michael Brantley has been re-signed by the Astros. Ryan, let's hear your take on this.
Honestly, the Blue Jays missed out, man. This is a guy that I think the Blue Jays kind of needed to get to really solidify that lineup because they just don't have that DH piece that they can maneuver some things around. They need to get that guy. And here's the thing that I really like about Brantley. He's only 33. He's a guy that has high contact rate, low strikeout ratio, and he's got a great eye. Last year in 46 games with this team, he batted .300 with 5 home runs and 22 RBIs with an .840 OPS. And I was transitioning between DH and left field when Yordan Alvarez was healthy. So this guy is very talented. He's a great hitter. I remember his days in Cleveland when he would just brutalize the Royals because he is a great hitter. Since 2014, has 5 300 hit seasons. He's only struck out in just 10.1% of his plate appearances, which is the third best in baseball in that time span. He is so talented, and he is worth $16 million a year, especially how they might use him at DH. He's still a solid fielder, great fielder. But DH, he is so effective. And I think what you can expect from him is just to be that guy to get on base. That's something that I think the Blue Jays need to get because they got their power guy in Springer. They need that guy who can get on base. And they didn't get him. So now they got to go look elsewhere. Because over his 12-year career, he's been with the Astros and he's been with the Indians. He's a .297 hitter, 114 home runs, 640 RBIs, and with a .794 OPS. He's been an all-star 4 times, and he's finished top 5 in MVP voting once. He's a very talented player, and I think that for the Astros, what they needed to do was get back one of their guys, and that's what they did. And I think getting Brantley back is huge. Also, they might be out on Jackie Bradley Jr. now. I'm manifesting again.
I know you are. So I'm intrigued with this deal. He got $16 million for 2 years, which for a guy like Michael Brantley, I honestly would say that he's more – I mean, that's pretty accurate. I mean, he's more of a 14, 15 million guy, but, hey, $16 million, you're not going to complain about it. But if you're the Astros, this is a great deal for you. He's been on the team for a couple years now. He has proven himself to be a leader. Now without Springer there, him and Correa are going to have to be really – that tag team duo is really the big guys in this organization. So it's a great move, in my opinion, for the Astros. And for Michael Brantley himself, he's comfortable with the Astros. He clearly liked being there. We saw that the Blue Jays are very, very aggressive on him, and the Blue Jays have become aggressive in general. But it's just really good to see that the guy, Mike Brantley, chose to stick with the Astros. He wanted to stay with the team that he knew, even though there was all this stuff going around with the Astros. Obviously, the cheating scandal, probably one of the main reasons why Springer left. We heard nothing about Springer re-signing with the Astros at all this offseason. It was as if it wasn't even a thought for him. So clearly, Michael Brantley he likes the Astros. He's a fan of the organization and is choosing to stay there. And I think that's a smart move for him. But what do you think in that regard, just in terms of picking Houston?
First career, I wouldn't have done it. Personally, I wouldn't have. I think that he should have gone to a team that's up and coming, like the Blue Jays, or a team that's going to be contending. And I don't think the Astros are going to be contending. They lost a big piece in Springer. They still got Alvarez. They still got Altuve, even though he was horrible last year. Still got guys like Bregman and Correa. Correa's a free agent, though, soon. After next year, I believe. Here's the thing. This is a team that's not trending in the best situation. Their pitching is not there. They have a aged Greinke that's not as good as he was. They also have a guy like Justin Verlander who's coming off of Tommy John surgery. So I don't know if it makes sense completely. I think that he could have really gotten this money and maybe even a little bit more if he went to a team that's going to be competitive and is going to be fighting to not just be in the playoffs but make a run.
Bless you, Ryan. So joining us now, our other co-host, Nick Nath, is here to give us his input. Nick, what is your thoughts about the Michael Brantley re-signing with the Astros?
I'm pretty happy. I called it, even though it really I didn't think it would happen because he was like.
You're the only one, too.
That's huge. That's huge. Now we tie for second. Here we go. No, but yeah, I'm as stunned as you guys are. The Blue Jays look like a certain like a lock. You know, he was supposed to because him and Springer we know are very close already, and that's what the whole idea was, that they were going to go together to Toronto, join an up and coming Blue Jays team, and try and win this AL East at this point. Because at that point they're serious contenders for the Yankees, but now the Blue Jays like the Mets couldn't get it done with Springer and with Brantley, so we'll have to wait and see. But I still like what the Blue Jays are like we talked about all last night. They're still in a very good position. They just need to address a few arms here and there, but the lineup looks solid top to bottom right now. But Brantley really would have helped. But now things stay interesting though. If you're a Houston Astros fan, so because where do they go from here? You know, they just re-signed this man who's supposed to be on a contending team. Are they contending, or are they trying to throw this all away? It's another interesting perspective to think about.
And that's the thing that I'm questioning, because the lineup is there. You see they have a great lineup with Yuli Gurriel. They still got a Brantley now. Bregman, Altuve if he can get out of whatever the heck last season was. And also Correa. They've got pieces, and Yordan Alvarez. But here's the thing. They still need to add maybe another outfielder, but also pitching. Because you don't know what Verlander you're getting back. You don't know if Zach Greinke's going to be able to be that guy still. He's 38. He's up there in his career. He's on the downward slope to where he's about to retire. Also, Lance McCullers. I think that's going to be a guy that they heavily rely on. And I don't know if he is ready or if he is truly, fully capable of being that guy to carry a rotation. Is Lance McCullers good? Yes. The one thing about him is his ERA the past 3 years has been a little bit shaky after 2016. Because in 2017, he had a 4.25 to 2018, 3.86 to 2020, 3.93, which for a starter is not bad by any means. It's not bad. It's average. It's okay. But for him to be the guy in that rotation, he's going to have to be more dominant than that, and he's going to have to be better and more composed to carry a rotation because they've got the talent. They just need to get more guys that'll fit their system and fit what they want to do.
So, Nick, you were thinking ahead of the game and took my next question of where do the Astros go from here? But I think that is an important thing to think about. Where do the Astros go from here? This is an interesting move compared to what we've seen the Astros do all offseason. They haven't really been aggressive. They haven't really been looking for anyone. But if you think about it, they've only really lost one guy from that team last year that made it to the playoffs. So do they still keep fighting? Nick, you talked about it a little bit, so I want to hear what Ryan thinks, and then we'll circle back to you.
Yeah, they're going to be fighting. They're going to. This team still has a lot of talent, and despite a couple holes in the team, they can still make it, especially in a weaker AL West division that's getting worse with the A's losing Hendricks and probably Simeon. So that's what you have to look at is the division that they're in. They're going to be making a run. And as they should. The division is not fully that strong, but I really think that you're going to see an impact on that lineup production-wise without George Springer, because George Springer was one of the top guys in that lineup because he brought that pop at the top of the order. But this team needs to put themselves in a more competitive light through adding maybe another starter or maybe getting more bullpen help. Of course, they've got Christian Javier, Framber Valdez, and they've got young guys, including Forrest Whitley. But also, those are young guys, young projects that you're going to have to watch and look out for. So there's a lot of question marks with this team, but I like that they're still staying competitive. And, yeah, they're going to obviously make a run, and I would expect them to make the playoffs with this team.
My turn. Bob, what are we doing?
I was going with you next. I said we'll circle back to you.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Basically, yeah, what Ryan said, they'll be fighting now. I think that's basically what this still means. It would have been really interesting to see what would have happened if they lost Brantley and to see where they took it. I wonder if Brantley kind of just made their decision to start competing now as opposed to losing him and then throwing it all away. But obviously, we'll see. I mean, I hate to play that card, but really a good part of this relies on how well the pitching staff is next year, and that really includes Justin Verlander. We don't know what version of him we'll see yet, but hopefully we see something we're accustomed to seeing too, because that would be fun to see as always. But I mean, this Astros, they've only lost Springer. Springer was definitely one of the more consistent hitters over the past few years, but his loss hurts. Hopefully Altuve can return to form. Correa, I hate the guy, but I mean, he's also a big part of that team. But losing Springer does hurt their chances a lot. But I mean, it'll be interesting because no team in the AL West right now is solidified number one. They're every team looks shaky, and especially the Astros.
Yeah, we did mention last night that the Angels are now really front runners for the division, but I would say now the Astros are just right back in it, and I think
the Astros just got that aspect back. They really did. They just made themselves the top dog because now this proves that they're not going away. If losing both Brantley and Springer, that would have maybe added, maybe they're starting to rebuild and go in a different direction. No, they're staying aggressive. They're staying in that hunt. And if you could see a guy like Zach Greinke go back and pitch like he did in 2019, where he went 18-5 with a 2.93 ERA, there you're going to get. But this year he had a 4.03 ERA, 3-3. You need more from him there. But if he can get back to where he has been, because we know what Zach Greinke can be. We've seen him win a Cy Young. We've seen him be dominant anywhere he's played, whether it be Kansas City, Milwaukee, with the Dodgers, wherever. Need more consistency from him, and then this team has a shot. But I would say they're the favorite to win the division now.
Yeah, I agree. So that's going to do it for our breaking news show. Michael Brantley re-signing with the Astros. If you want to stick around, we are going to be doing we're doing a podcast, season 3, episode 11 at 4 o'clock Arizona time, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Be there starting in 7 minutes. You're not going to want to miss it. Refresh the page on our YouTube channel if you want to see us talk about who the best players in each division are. Things are starting to heat up a little bit on the free agency front. Seems like the hot stove is finally cooking up. I'm excited to see how that progresses. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys all next